This week in comic books, DC does the most horrific thing in Mr. Miracle, hits all the right buzzwords, and then follows typical stereotypes, and we're supposed to be surprised. We're going to chat that one up and get a little spicy on that one, because that's bad. Also in the land of Marvel, apparently we're just going to tell DC stories and blatant ripoff of DC characters. It's weird. And also in the land of Independence, well, Boom does the same thing that Marvel does. By telling you a story twice so you can pay twice for the same story. Everybody's playing off of each other. It's kind of weird. This one's going to be spicy, folks. Ooh. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? It's Pocan Joe, and I am back with this week's comic book haul and review. And if you hang out to the end, I may have some information for you about an auction that's popping up that you, the collector, or even flipper might be interested in. So hang out to the end. So let's jump right into it so you don't have to wait that long. We're going to get right into DC. So DC came out with several books this week, and it was hard not to buy a lot of stuff this week. But I did want to pick up the freshest new stuff that was coming out, so of course I picked up Stargirl Spring Break. So what we're doing is we're relaunching that Stargirl storyline. Your stepdad, it's very going to be closely related to the television show that was on CW, which wasn't that bad, right? I know that's surprising coming from me, but it wasn't that bad. It was pretty good, and we pay, I don't know, I always feel cheesy when you say pay homage or the proper respect to old school characters, but they did a good job in this. Not every male is an idiot, and every old person is just stupid, right? There's kids, they make mistakes. There's adults that have to live with their past issues that come back and haunt them, and they do the thing that adults do, right? You make friends, you good friendships, and then you go away for a while, and then you have to find some reason to come back together, other than a funeral and a wedding. Just surprisingly, in some cases that can be the same thing. But no, this was really fun. It's a good read, super funny, and it's a great launch because it gave us everything we need for that number one issue that will be coming out, right? We know the characters in play. We understand some of the characters have changed, and we're going down a different road here where we're going to kind of play with time a little bit. And we have a new villain, so we've been introduced to everything we need to launch that story off. So if Stargirl is going to be on your reading list, you may want to pick this one up because I don't see them doing too much rehashing of this stuff, and some of this stuff may be important. Next, so I got a bone to pick with DC. Especially good old, who wrote this? Easton. So you hit all the proper buzzwords in here. You've obviously made this a very race-baited book, and that's fine. I get that that's topical right now. If you don't know what's in this comic book, basically the superhero does not want to reveal themselves to the public for fear that he's a black superhero, right? And that's just ignorant. That is absolutely ignorant. And then the illustrator in this literally made it look like every black superhero following all the stereotypes in body, figure, and shape. What could I possibly be talking about? Everything from nose to muscle structure, stance, even the vernacular. Right? Like he uses common urban slang and things like that in his speech and everything that he does. But he doesn't want anybody to know he's black because that's an important thing in this book. That's the most important thing in this book. That's somebody trying to be edgy and they lost it. You want to know what else happened in this story? Nothing else. The original Mr. Miracle's daughter apparently showed up. I'm assuming it's a daughter. There were boobs. But, with this writer and the way he's going, I don't want to judge anything because then I'm just going to feel creepy. See what I'm talking about? Stuff like this makes this really rough for people, and it's stupid. This does not apply in the real world, especially when you use stereotypes that are against your own argument. This is, shame on you. I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't for that obvious conflicting information that you're putting out there, right? That this is bad, but I'm going to be a stereotype anyway. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have been drawn into this story even more. But I mean, it stuck out to the point to where it was horrible and apologetic even in some cases. And I was just no. So getting on, Robin number 2 comes out. We get a little bit more understanding of the way we have to play the game on this island, right? So we're on an island. We know if you die 3 times, that's it. You are done. And everybody kind of dies once. It's kind of a lesson. So really, you get 2. Actually, you get 1, right? Because if you die that next, yeah. So you get 1 more. So you only really get 2 tries, right? And then you're dead forever. Now, after your second death, you can just leave the island. But, of course, there's mysterious men in hoods doing creepy things in underground caverns in this. And, of course, boy detective here wants to get to the bottom of it. Also, Ravager's in this, and she has a lot of funny, witty banter, and she's going to teach Robin something because he takes himself way too seriously. You know, you're only going to die 1 other time. Then you got to make a choice. You either die or leave the island. It's pretty serious. But all in all, this is a fun book. And I really like this Flatline character. I think she's kind of fun. Again, everybody seems very lighthearted and wants to party and hang out. And then during the day, you know, you got to get to business, right? And of course, Robin's got to show off in this because Flatline kind of showed him up a little bit. So, you know, she kind of had to drop some bones. So that was good. I enjoyed that. That was very fun. This unique take on Batman and Superman, this is number 18. This is I like the concept of this. And really, we should have kind of already picked this up. The evil character in this, or bad guy, is Arthur I.O., right? And I never thought about it, but we find out that it's actually a computer program that became sentient in some way, right? And you're probably wondering why I.O. Well, programs that can run automations very quickly. Think of like Bitcoin, bot chains, and stuff like that. They run off of an I.O., an algorithmic program. And I was like, why didn't I catch that before? So that was a really cool connection in there. Really good play on words. I really enjoy this. Our attacking realities in this realize that there's even another, they realize the bigger realities out there, the one that's being fought right now with our heroes and Arthur I.O. This is fun, and it's taken that whole universal thing, you know, where you got universe after universe after universe and multiverse, and it's kind of conceptualizing it into a more story form, linear format. Instead of constantly wondering what's more out there, you're kind of just like you would if it was film reel. It's constantly breaking up the borders in here. Kind of follows that flow, and it's really smart. I enjoyed that. I'll definitely be picking more up of that. Oh, Detective Comics number 36. What did we get in this one? Oh no, I wanted to do Action Comics. Let's do Action Comics first. So, and the reason why I say that is because I want to keep these in order, but Mongol, right? Mongol's always been an interesting character in the Superman lore, right? Or Action Comics as a whole. But in this, he's taken a much more sadistic turn to it. This whole religion, I'm going to say, or theology. I'm not really sure. They haven't really broken it out yet, but it's all based around chains, right? And our people that can speak the ancient language of Kryptonian, it hasn't been confirmed if they're Kryptonian yet or not, but they got the Superman symbol branded in their hand. Chains are a huge thing. Nobody wants to get rid of their chains. Like, chains are huge in this. The ties that bind, or the manipulation of one. I'm not really sure. I'm very interested in, break the chains, be free. I'm not sure where they're going with it because everybody wants to keep their chains on. So what does that mean? Why is that so important? Like, you can kind of see some torture stuff happen earlier, and you can play a psychological game with it. But I would like to think that there's a bigger meaning behind it. So this has been just absolutely good. If you haven't picked this up, you can pick this up. This is issue 1031. So you would want 1030. And I would actually go ahead and probably pick up 1029 just so you can see the transition to the new story. This is good stuff. Definitely. You might want to take a look at that. All right. Now we jump into Detective Comics. So what did we think of Detective Comics this week? Well, Detective Comics was good. We got the whole Clayface thing, right? So if you don't remember in the last issue, we had the young lady that died, Mr. Worf's daughter, and then we thought she was coming back as a zombie. Come to find out, it's Lady Clayface. They make a big deal out of that. I knew there was a Lady Clayface. I know it's kind of sort of a Gollum type thing, but I really don't get the point of it because Clayface is Clayface, and Clayface can be any woman. I don't even know why that character exists, but whatever. Let's roll with it. We're moving forward with it. So, come find out, and she's like all jacked up and all weirded out. And they're trying to get to the bottom of this whole thing and why it's happening. The problem that I'm having with the story is it's constantly another thing in this story. Like, more stuff we find out about a day. Just ask more questions. Every time we get a bit of information, 7 more mysteries pop up. And it's starting to get kind of convoluted and a little, I don't know, it's getting kind of hard to follow, I think is the best way. This thing seems to be a reason to have other spin-off stories than it is to be a story itself. Now, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying that's good. What I'm trying to say is it just, kind of help me get through some of this, because you got a lot going on in this story, and it's starting to get a little too wide for me. The Huntress story in the back end of it, guy beat his girl. Huntress went to go kill him. Come find out it wasn't him to begin with, even though she shot him with 2 arrows, because she's not a superhero herself. Oh, one thing did happen in this I thought was cool. They got this little thing, I don't know what it is, but it's like, it just drives me crazy. They got like these little tentacle things in people's eyes, so they've been exposed to something. You know what, let me share the love out there. Like, I don't know what it is about eye stuff, but the idea of touching my eye or something being on my eye, yeah, that thing you just felt, you're like, that's me whenever I see it. Oh, crazy. All right, so we're going to jump into Marvel now. Now, understand, Heroes Reborn, we know we're dealing with an Elseworld story, right? More especially in this one, Siege Society. So, Baron Zemo's got a ragtag band of villains, and they're going to go attack a superhero compound with Pip in it, because Pip's a reason. Bunch of characters are mismatch of other characters and kind of weirded out. We obviously have a character that you can point at and say, that is Hawkman. Like, with the mace and everything, that is Hawkman. And of course the the Nighthawk in this is of course Batman. Blur is the Flash. We kind of get a little bit more of that story between him and Scarlet Witch in here, from the last Heroes Reborn, where they were racing across the country. Come find out that was all just a diversion. And of course, the Nighthawk guy, to the point, even had a contingency, and the whole thing was a setup to begin. It sounded just like a Batman. It sounded so much like a Batman story that I'm almost starting to wonder, because some people have been looking to possibly buy DC, and there's always that rumor that Marvel's kind of doing it. I think this is trolling us. I don't think Marvel actually wants to buy DC. I think they got their own problems. I'm talking about those X-Men stories. So, I don't think it's that, but I think they're just like trolling us at this point. Like, we might be doing something. But all in all, it's a superhero story. It's an Elseworld story. It was okay. It's the best I can give it. Now, blatant ripoffs. Like, just absolute blatant ripoffs. Dr. Spectrum came out. I didn't get them all. These are the only 2 that I got from the Heroes Reborn. This is Guy Gardner. Right? The Green Lantern. He's got, a jewel, something that's in a ring. He floats around space and combats crime. And then Rocket Raccoon's in there, and he's riding something that looks like something Lobo would ride. He's acting like Lobo, the whole 9 yards, right? He's even a bounty hunter. Groot's a gun, and the Starband child is still the Starband child. Right? So we know we're going to be coming to a head with something with that. I hope they do something cool with this whole Starbands. This is a hard character to make interesting, because it's just not that interesting. Even the old Starband, I got magical bracelets. It was pretty a 2-dimensional story. So I don't know what they're going to do, but obviously they're going to do something, because they've been trying to push the Starband on us for a while now. In the last Avengers run, it was like the Starband baby was something huge and special, and everybody's like, we don't care. we don't care. Somebody will catch a hint. Moving on to something really, really good. So, Aliens. This follows and reads exactly the way the movie tells its story. It's creepy. It's slow. Everything's dark in it. Has this surrealism to it. And then all of a sudden, gunfire blast everywhere. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And then we get a twist, right? Because somebody's always got to screw over the good guys. That's part of the good guy squad, right? So our little female that we found in the lab from the last issue, come find out she's one of the eco-terrorists. We should have already known that, but the artwork can kind of throw things off in here because it's that computer-generated type stuff. So I even missed that. I was like, wait, I had to go get the last issue. I was like, oh, she was a terrorist. That makes sense. And then we find out that our super alien creature, he's there to save that and try to save his kid, our antagonist in this. And come to find out, he just really wants to save his son, but duty's always going to come first, and that's what makes him a jerk, apparently. All right, so Beta Ray Bill. This is so cringy that I love it. It was. I know that doesn't make any sense. So Beta Ray Bill's essence of his ship, or the data of his ship, because the ship doesn't come alive, right? Just the thought of it, the programming of it. I don't know. Anyway, it's a robot now that lives inside of herself, and apparently she has a little bit of a crush on Beta Ray Bill. And Beta Ray Bill, he feels all awkward about this. So what are we going to do? We're going to go play ping pong. They did that. They played ping pong, and they were like, this is awkward. Let's make it less awkward. Let's play ping pong. And I'm like, do people still play ping pong? Like, I was trying to figure that one out. That was weird. Apparently she's so infatuated with Beta Ray Bill that she has an entire room just archives of him. Right? Like, that's starker level, like, weirdness there, but hey, let's roll with it anyway. We finally we change into a boat, sail across some fiery waters. Pirates, scavenger type creatures come. We lay them bodies to waste. And now we got to go deeper into the depths of hell, right? So now it turns into a submarine. She's sacrificing herself because she can feel the pain of the ship, I guess. I don't know. I kind of got lost in this issue. I'm not going to hold up the entire story just because of this issue, though. I really want to see how this plays out. Let's see here. Department of Truth. So this entire thing, here's your lesson for the day, is Symbology 101, right? When you look at symbols, rather it's religious symbols, patriotic symbols, organizational symbols, whatever symbols are. Symbols have a meaning and I don't know how else to put that. They have a meaning and they have a constant reminder to people. So, you wear a ring with a symbol or something on it. It's always be one to identify yourself to other people who may be, and also to use as a reminder to you. So they kind of use the concept of that, what I just explained right now, and they kind of explain it as this is how magic works in our world, right? The symbols equal magic. The more people you get to believe into a symbol or enact into a symbol, the more chances the reality of that belief system can come to life. In a very, very complicated way. If you thought that was complicated, they really strung that one out in there. But it makes sense. It's not true, but it makes sense. I like where they took this. We also kind of learned the rules of the game with these two fractions as well, the Department of Truth and the Black Hat people, and how they operate and how they create the myths or the conspiracies to come true, and how we defeat those to go back in. To the point of even using subliminal messages. Again, I'm using another reference from conspiracy theory to kind of be the solution in here. And we finally figured out what the Mothman was. Apparently that was an experiment that went horribly wrong. Next issue, I think we're going to be diving into Bigfoot a little bit. I'm really just enjoying this just to see how they connect a conspiracy theory into its storyline, because I'm sure that cannot be easy. So that's very, very fun. Next, Nuclear Family. This is good, and it's so simple to review. I mean, first we start off with your typical American Midwest family, nuclear blast, time travel. You take time travel to being commie spies to mad scientists making zombies, and then escaping to the ghettos of an underground city. Boom. And you're out of there. Like, it's done. Hey, you read 20 to 15 comic books a week. Sometimes it's nice to have just an easy breezy, lemon squeezy story. Something is killing the kids. This is my other bone I'm kind of picking. If you've been reading this series, you already knew this origin story. You already knew it. It was what was 5 panels of dialogue in like issue 6. Not even kidding. They just told the exact same thing in here. All they did was add more panels to it and stretched out the dialogue for it. Gave it dialogue, I should say. That's really it. It's not a very interesting origin story. I know this is getting hyped up and people are losing their minds. It's the origin story. I would rather the origin story be that of the Order of St. George or the Slaughterhouse or something along those lines. Like, that would be... I want to see just how far back this thing goes and how interesting that is. The helicopters are coming. Alright. So, big time announcement. So, if you've been going fast, this is where you want to slow down, right? Alright, so, if you don't know, we're doing the Would You Rather competition over at Blaster Stash It. You can check that link below. You can also check us out Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Myself, Huey, Spectacular Spider Grandpa. We're going to talk about these comic books and a few more, and we'll also remind you about the contest, how to get into it. But if you just want a quick reference of how to do it, check the link below. Also, I have launched my online auction. For some of you that have been watching this channel for a while, you're probably wondering, where's your online auction been lately? So basically what I do is I use a auction house here locally called People's Auction House. Their link will be down below. All my comic books are either singles or bundles of comic books. Everything starts at $1. And just spend what you're comfortable with spending. Like, don't go crazy with this stuff. And then a third-party packager will call you and find out exactly how you want your package shipped to you. So there's no questions if it's been done correctly. Not, they will work with you to make sure that package comes to you in pristine condition and the way that you want it, as long as you're willing to pay for it. So that's it, guys. Check it out. I got some great stuff in that auction. Some G.I. Joe stuff. Something is Killing Your Kids. There's a Thundercats #2 in there. A lot of modern stuff in this last haul, because, I don't keep all this. I just keep the things I really want to hold on to. So a lot of run fillers in there, first appearances, anything and everything you possibly want. Definitely check it out. It's about 180 lots. And hopefully now that COVID's kind of come down, we can kind of start doing this a little bit more often again. All right, guys, I got nothing else. Bye.